Okay, let's get started. Welcome to RefineM's May Lunch and Learn. Today's topic is leadership skills for project managers. I know a lot of you are in situations where you uh, need to be leading, in addition to managing the projects. So we'll talk about what's the difference and how you can develop leadership skills. Okay, so uh, high level agenda for today's webinar. And so if anybody joining for the first time, this is our monthly webinar. Every first Wednesday of the month, we select various topics. If you have any topic that you want to share or you want the webinar on, send us the topic and we should be able to create a webinar around that topic. So let's start everybody sharing. So Philip, if you can open the microphones, if somebody wants to talk, that's okay at this point of time. But if you are not talking, please mute your phones so that it's not disturbing to others. So what are your expectations from this webinar? You can type in the chat box or you can talk. I see somebody typing loudly. I hear rather, not see. Looking for additional tools and tips on leadership. Okay, see if I win the gift card. Okay, Nathan. We'll see. Yeah. Improve leadership skills. Yeah. Okay. Same here. Pick up few new tips on leadership. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Very good. Very good. Excellent. Excellent. Learn how PMO think about soft skills and their importance. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else? Okay, the slide that you're seeing is about me, and you would have already seen it. The new thing that I want to share with you, and I'll share in later on slides, is some of the new videos that we have released. So there were questions from some of you. Does a leader need to always have followers? So yes and no. In some cases, the leaders, will have followers because that's how the leaders are defined. And sometimes those followers are not that you see, but people follow your lead in different ways. So they can follow the values that you have, they can follow the practices that you do, they can follow the style, and so there could be multiple ways. So they may not be look like there are followers, but they're. So if I were to say, does a leader need to have followers? Yes. The answer is yes. You may see them right away or you may not see them, and we'll talk more at the end too. And also somebody asked about what resources we have for the PMP exam. So somebody is preparing for the PM, and we have tons of resources on PMP exam, tons of resources. If you are preparing for your exam, we have several boot camps on in person, online. So you can join online boot camps. You can go to our trainings page and you can find more details about those. We have also a PMP test simulator. Is now PM Box 6 compliant, and I also do live chats every first and third Thursday of the month, and you can join that. That's free, and if you're preparing, you can ask questions. And then little non-interactive. So those are all pretty interactive things. And then you have blog posts. Three of those blog posts are mentioned here that provide information uh, about different aspects of PMP exam. We also have some templates that you can download to help on your PMP test. So I will say that we have tons of resources. You have tons of resources. Um, okay, so what's new at RefineM? Next two topics are interesting. One is on Agile, business requirement gathering for Agile projects. And I get across that question uh, many places where I do consulting and coaching on Agile projects, how the business requirement gathering is different for Agile projects. And I see many people implementing Agile projects still following the same old method of gathering requirements. So we'll talk about that. And also I get this question like, okay, I have done my PMP, so what should I do next? Should I do CSM? Should I do PGMP? What should I do? What are the career options after PMP? So there are a lot of things that get opened up. So we'll talk about that on July 11. New training outreach. We have several new classes that we launched. You can see here, and the video bundle. That's what I want to talk about. We have Agile Fundamentals video. It's about 1 day class, maybe about 8-9 hours of videos. So you can see those, and you can get an understanding of basics of Agile. You can pass it on to anybody in your organization or anybody who you know needs such kind of a orientation or training. And also, if you are a PMP, we have a PDU bundle. So there are videos that you can watch, and every video gets you one PDU. So that's another, and we'll keep adding videos to that bundle. And of course, live chat. So the videos are great news, good news that I wanted to share some of the new videos. Okay, so we'll talk about leadership skills. Some of the things I may not talk about the leadership styles because I want to cover the leadership skills. So we'll talk about that. Maybe leadership styles need a separate webinar itself. So we'll talk about that. So let's get into leadership skills. So importance of leadership. Let's discuss that. So project managers, as I was talking to you, in many situations need to exhibit leadership and not just manage but lead also. And I will tell you the difference between leading and managing. Some of the examples are that you should be able to create a vision for your project. Sometimes you're not given that from the sponsors. They talk, maybe you have to write it and communicate it and get people excited about it. So those are all the leadership aspects. Guiding the team through conflicts, working with the stakeholders and team for mutual success, negotiating and developing agreements. So those are some of the examples of where the situations where leadership skills come into play. So what are the steps to becoming a project leader? Let's talk about that. So steps to become a project leader. First of all is to understand leadership. So have a very good understanding of how it is different than management. Sometimes it is just intermixed, people use it interchangeably, but there is a distinct difference. There is a very, very clear difference between leadership and management. Somehow that gets, that gets overlapped, or people use it interchangeably because it may be the same person exhibiting both. The same person is managing as well as leading. So that's possibility. So many times that happens, so it gets mixed up. So first is understand the difference. The second very important thing is to harness emotional intelligence. A extremely important um, skill to develop to have to be a successful leader. You need, and we'll talk about different aspects of emotional intelligence, and that comes into play in all the situation where leadership uh, skills are needed to be effective. And understand and apply situational leadership. Understand the situation, and then based on the situation, you can use different ways or different leadership styles uh, to basically help that situation. And of course, then you can study what are the different leadership skills, uh, practice those, get kind of mastery on those skills. And leadership skills are kind of is practice. You can read about them, but unless you practice it, you will not be able to become an effective leader. So these are the steps to become a project leader. So you can see that it's something that can be developed. It is that there are some people who are kind of born with those kind of skills, but then even if you are not, that's okay. It can be developed. And these are the steps that you go through to develop leadership skills. So don't just jump to understanding what the leadership skills are trying to, and then don't go to step 4 directly. That's what I wanted to say. So there are things that you need to do before you can start practicing leadership skills. You may read about leadership skills, but unless you do the first 3, the fourth will take longer, or you may not get there. Okay, any question here? I'll stop for maybe 10-15 seconds here. Any question anybody has? Okay, so no questions. Let's move forward. So let's talk about what is leadership. So what do you think is leadership? What is leadership? Or what is the meaning of leadership? Can you define leadership? Anyone? I saw some conversation going on the chat box here. Able to influence and guide the team to reach the vision. Yeah, the pitch has put something over here, which is right. Anybody else? Anybody else want to share what do they think is leadership about? Prudent use of trust and authority. Okay. Empower teams to achieve vision. Okay, very good, very good, very good, very good. Setting K talks about setting a vision. People will follow that vision. Okay, very good. So it's many aspects, So there is no one single definition, So I'll have some quotes from the this is Peter Drucker. He talks about leader is someone who has followers. So leaders are supposed to have followers, right? That answers the question Mustafa asked at the beginning when he talked about that. And many of you talked about vision into reality. Somebody who is able to translate vision into reality. That is also leadership. And then this is a definition, Wikipedia definition of the ability of individual to lead or guide other individual teams and organization is also called as leadership. So there are various things. And if you want to see the dimensions of leadership, so how physically a leader looks like, this is the physical dimension of a leader, ability to display, compose, or persuade others. So somebody who doesn't get agitated very quickly, somebody who doesn't get upset, angry, or very uh, extremely happy or something like that. So somebody, ability to display composure, and that relates to the emotional intelligence part. And we'll talk about, and so from mentally or emotionally better influencer and better communicator. All leaders are great communicators. All leaders are great communicators. So somebody who is a communicator at the macro level, better at grasping the big picture. So not only staying in the weeds, the details, but having a bigger picture, able to roll up and show the people what the bigger, and at the micro level, they are better at some specialized tasks. So they can be master in one or two different kind of tasks, but they may not know everything, but some level of some specialty they will have. So it depends upon a leader came from technology background, so their specialization will be technology. Somebody came from financial background, so their specialized task will be financials. Somebody came from operations, so there it will be that particular. Somebody came from education, so it will be education will be their specialization. So they'll have one or more specialization, but they should be able to grasp the big picture. And also you should see them displaying wisdom and values. So every leader is about values and wisdom. They may have different values, and they will follow those values. They will live those values, every day, every moment, and they will display the wisdom. So you can see when they talk wisely. So these are some of the dimensions of leadership, and related to project leadership, basically results in better able to manage execution. So you see the project managers that have leadership skills are able to manage the execution of their projects in a much better way, because they are composed, they are able to persuade others, they are better influencer, better communication, they see the big picture, they can do some tasks, and they leave some values. You can see how that can help in managing execution or better execution. So what do leaders do? That was the kind of aspects of leadership. What do the leaders do? The very first thing is they get results. The very fundamental thing, difference between managers and leaders. Managers manage, leaders produce results. So from a project management perspective, think about your project is, project is late, people are not finishing their tasks. That's what is happening, right? And then you just report that to the senior management. Oh, this guy did not do this task. This guy did not. So this is the new date. You are just managing. You are reporting. You are getting those information and reporting. You are not leading. Now you will be leading if those situations happen, then you figure out what you need to do to put the project back on track. So you may not be able to do it yourself. You may have limited capacity, limited authority, and all those kind of things. But you need to know who you need to go to get things done. That's the key differentiator. Leader gets results. So that's fundamental thing. Remember, in your projects, if you are getting results, you are exhibiting leadership skills. If you are just reporting, just updating status and reporting, and you don't know what to do, you feel helpless, not empowered, then you are not, you have to develop some leadership skills. That's the kind of sign or the red flag or whatever you want to say, that if you feel helpless, if you say, I cannot do much, I can just report and then let's see what happens, then you need to develop leadership skills. That's a, and if you are delivering results, if you are able to turn the tides, and if you are able to make the things happen, you have leadership skills. Provide inspiration and motivation to people. That's another thing. And align the team to a vision. Okay, setting vision and people will follow. So it's not that people will just follow. They need to align the team to follow that vision. So that's a part. There is a work that needs to be done for alignment. People will not get aligned by default. So there's a work needed to get the alignment done. What else? What else leaders do? Can anybody share what else leaders do? I see someone empowers team to achieve vision, prudent use of trust, includes the ability to inspire others. So I see some of that related inspiration, motivation, and vision, realizing the vision. Inspire, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, inspire others, yeah. Respect all team members. Okay, yeah, I think that's respecting everybody is a value. So respecting everybody is a value, and I think most of the leaders do live that value. Lead by example, yeah, that's the style. The style of leadership. Okay, very good, very good. So now here's the difference. If you want to see the difference between the managers and leaders, and nothing is better or worse. It's just two different kind of roles, if you will. So managers deal with complexity. Most of the leaders are not able to deal with complexity. So if there is a huge complex problem that need to be solved, so managers are problem solvers. You give them a complex problem, they will divide that into smaller manageable chunks and solve that problem, resolve that complexity. Whereas leaders helps team to cope with the change. So managers may be pretty much steady state, and if things change, then it becomes a problem for managers. Whereas leaders are able to lead during that change situation. Leaders will set vision and direction, managers will set plan and budget. A manager will organize and staff team. So they will organize, they will hire, fire, organize, all those kind of things. Very important things to do on a team. Extremely, extremely important things to do on a team. Whereas leaders will align the team to the vision, as we talked about. Managers solve problems, leaders inspire team. Leaders may not solve problem, they inspire the team, and maybe there is somebody there who solve the problem. So you can see how to deliver a project successfully, you need all of this, right? You need the things on the left and you need the things on the right. You need both, particularly if you are managing multiple projects, if you are managing large complex projects, multiple stakeholders, multiple teams, there are a lot of people with different kind of attitude and mindsets and skills and all those kind of things. So it's all of these 8 you need to deliver projects successfully, one after the other. So it's extremely important to have all these skills, managing skills as well as leading skills. Any question? I'll stop for another few seconds over here. Does anybody see any other difference? So I have some differences, key differences listed here, a set of 4. Anybody sees any other difference between management and leadership, or between managers and leaders? No thoughts coming in. Okay, let's move forward. So as I was talking about, so first is understanding leadership. That was the first step in developing the leadership skill. So that conversation on first, last few slides were related to understanding leadership. Now the second step is to understand emotional intelligence. So what is emotional intelligence? How does it affect leadership? And how you can improve emotional intelligence? So what is emotional intelligence? Some of you may already know it, right? So what is emotional intelligence? Can anybody talk or write on that group chat over here? What is emotional intelligence? Empathy with people. Very good. That's one part of it for sure. So K is right. That's one part of it. But there is more, K. Anybody else? What is emotional intelligence? There's a very good book. I don't know the author. Take emotion out of equation and handle more factually, sometimes by mind or help per situation. Actually, pitch that may not help leadership. So I will tell you why. We'll hold on for a few slides. Hold on for a few slides. Being able to formulate based on recipient. Yep. Understand. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Understand yourself and others. Yeah. So there is a very good book on emotional intelligence. And Philip, if you can find the reference, put it in the chat box. What is the name? I think it is Emotional Intelligence 2.0. Okay, yeah, Sunil, you are right. So emotional intelligence is the ability to manage ourselves and our relationships effectively. So it is both. And Sunil said self and social awareness. That is also a part of it. That is not the whole thing. That is what is needed to have the ability to manage ourselves and manage our relationships. You need to be aware before you can manage. So so Philip has typed that book, very good book on emotional intelligence. If you are interested to read that book, go ahead and read that. That's a very nice book. So leaders lack EI competency found to be less effective. So somebody who doesn't know how to manage ourselves and our relationships. So it's about relationship. How do you develop relationship? That needs emotional intelligence to develop relationships. So they are rarely rated as outstanding in performance reviews, and the team or the divisions that they lead will outperform average almost 20%. So there is a huge impact of. So there are 4 parts of EI capabilities, and some of you mentioned those parts. So first part is about self, managing self. So that comes from self-awareness, creating more awareness about ourselves and managing ourselves. So those two are the 2 components. There are 4 components. There are 2 components about ourselves, and then there are 2 components about others. So our social awareness or awareness about others and relationship management. How do we manage our relationship with others? And that comes with social awareness. So and they need to happen in that order. So you need to be first aware about yourself. If you're not aware about yourself and you are not managing yourself, it will be very difficult to be aware and manage others. That's extremely important. So those are the 4 fundamental things for emotional intelligence. So let's talk about this. So describe this person's emotional state in just one word. I'll give you a few seconds. So yay, somebody says yay. Yay is not an emotional state or feeling. Joy, yes, happy, victorious, achieved, sense of achievement, pumped, yeah. Yeah, yeah, some of that, right? So that's okay. I don't know what is euphoria is. Maybe I don't know that word. If Sunil can talk more about that, maybe others know. That's okay. So okay. So extreme happiness. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, jubilant, happy, victorious. Yeah, those are the words to define. And so what you are saying is the feeling part, right? So this person is demonstrating or exhibiting his feeling through his action, right? You are seeing action. You're not able. You are judging his feeling through his action, and that's what happens. That's what happens. So self-awareness, awareness of own emotions, our own emotions, our own feelings, being aware of that. And our own emotions and feeling impact us. We know that if we are very happy, we are very productive, right? If we are not happy, then our performance goes down. We know that, and also it also impacts our relationship with others. If we are happy, our relationship will become better. If most of the time we are happy, we'll have better relationship. If most of the time we are cranky, what happens with the relationship, So being aware about emotions impact performance and relationship. So the examples of self-awareness is being confident and being able to realistically evaluate your strengths and weaknesses, and having a strong sense of self-worth. Very important. Everybody is great. I'm also great. You are also great. Self-worth. That's extremely important, because everybody has some unique, strengths. So very strong sense of self-worth, very important for being self-aware. Be aware of that. And how do you manage? So ability to regulate emotions. So if you understand you are upset, then how do you regulate that? How do you make sure that is you're not spontaneously reacting to that, right? So that's called as being composed. We talked in first couple of slides. Ability to keep emotions from being destructive, important, right? So examples of self-management: having a very good self-control, being trustworthy, that people can trust that you will behave well in most of the situations, being adaptable in different situations, and of course taking initiative. So those are some of the examples of self-management. Let's move to social awareness. So social awareness is the importance of interaction with others, skill in recognizing and meeting needs of others, what others are needing, recognizing and helping them meet. So the examples of that: being able to understand perspective of others. Somebody talked about empathy. Understand how they are feeling, understand their perspective, and being able to sense emotions, what kind of emotions or feelings they are going through. being able to understand and navigate organizational politics. That's another aspect. So politics is about people doing things that they are not saying, or people saying things that they don't mean. So they are thinking something and doing something else. That's where the the politics part comes up. So there's no sync up between the two, what they are thinking and what they are doing. That's different. And so you can see that in many teams, many organizations. So how do you understand that, and then how do you navigate through that? And very important for project managers who work in multiple teams, different, multiple department, all multi kind of things, and able to understand and meet customer needs. So same is applied to the customer. Understand what they need, what are their emotional state, what they need. If they are coming up with a requirement, why they are coming, not just shooting them to think, oh, this you have to go to the change request. This is a scope change and we'll need a change request, without really trying to understand the need, without even trying to understand their feelings. So that, and once you understand that, and then you get into the management of that. So that is skill of interacting with others, and example of relationship management, influencing others, is relationship management. How do you influence others? Communicating effectively, developing other is another example of relationship management. If you are in a situation where you are able to develop others, you are able to mentor others, that's an example of relationship management with other, building bonds in work, at home, or in other, and teamwork. All of these are examples of relationship management. So those are the four aspects of emotional intelligence: the self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. So the first two are about self, the other two are about others. And there are some examples over on this slide that you see. So how does this happen? So it's important to understand the thought pattern. And this slide, I would like you to pay attention to this slide, because thoughts come into mind. That's where it starts. That's where everything starts. So thoughts come to mind. So for example, I passed the PMP exam. That's a thought. I passed the PMP exam. And then thoughts leads to feelings. So feelings are not without thoughts. So first the thought comes that create feelings, which can trigger thoughts again, new thoughts. Okay, you go into that kind of a chain, but let's look at the first chain here. So thought comes to mind, it leads to feelings. So I passed the exam, I'm happy that I passed the exam, right? So passing the exam thought came, and then happiness is the feeling that was created because of that thought. And then feeling trigger action, and that action you see. So thoughts and feelings are still happening, people don't see it inside you, but they see your feelings through actions, right? And so you show some action about, you'll jump with joy, or whatever. And then your repeated actions create behavior. So which molds personality over a period of time. So if you think about your personality and think about somebody else's personality, this is the process of developing the personality. So if you want to change your personality, you need to change the thoughts that come to your mind. And you have to be aware of that, and need to be aware of the feelings, need to be aware of the actions. So that's about, so can somebody please shut up
the... honored with several awards and recognitions.
Yeah, somebody,
including the prestigious Best
Philip, can you, so if you're not talking, please mute your microphones. Okay. So So that's the chain, and every step there is a new thoughts that may come. So being aware of your thoughts, being aware of your feelings is the starting point. If you understand yourself, if you understand what goes on in your mind and body, then it will be very easy for you to understand what goes on others' mind and body. It will be very, very, very easy for you to understand that. Uh, so that's very important. Yeah. So something, yeah, pitch, what you're writing is absolutely what I'm talking about here. Repeated actions become behavior, which molds the personality. So this is one slide. If you understand this slide and become more aware of yourself, that's the first step. Become more aware of yourself and start managing yourself by understanding your feelings. And then from feelings to action, that's where you have to work. First, you work on that from feeling to action. And then once you are able to get hold of that, then you will also be able to, create feelings based on thoughts. Or you may ignore some thoughts. You may start ignoring some thoughts. Our human brain is a factory of thoughts. Can anybody know how many thoughts we create in a day? Anyone? Can anyone guess how many thoughts are created in our brain in a day? Yeah, thousands, but how many? How many thousands? Yeah, thousands is right answer. But how many thousand? It's, if I remember exact, it is 42,000 some change. Yeah. So those many thoughts in a day. We are a thought generating factory kind of thing. But see how that impact you, how those impact you. So start with this is extremely important to develop leadership skills. If your emotional intelligence is low, then you will struggle. You will struggle to develop. Okay, let's keep moving. Any questions here very quickly? Any questions on emotional intelligence and how does it impact leadership? Okay, let's keep moving. So I have identified 10 key leadership skills. The 10 key leadership skills, I call them top 5, next 5. In most of the situation, I'm not able to cover all 10. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk for next 10 minutes and we'll see how much we cover. Maybe we're able to cover all top 5 and may not be all top 5. So the very first skill I feel the topmost is developing clarity and focus. So what is clarity? What is clarity? Anybody? What is the meaning of clarity? Nobody is typing anything, so I have to type. Having end in mind. No, actually, that's not clarity. Clarity is no ambiguity. Correct. Clarity is not no ambiguity. Walk the talk. No, even not. That is not clarity. So clarity is clarity about understanding, free of ambiguity, transparency. That's clarity. Absolute no doubt about a thing. No clarity of requirements. And we'll talk about what are different clarities and how it helps is to align you to goals and keep you losing steam. So those are the kind of things when you develop clarity. And there are 3 different types of clarity with respect to project management. First is the clarity of purpose. Why we're doing this project, what are the roles and responsibility, benefit that the team understand, why they want to achieve, like what's the vision, clarity about the purpose and vision of the project. Clarity about the plan, what is the plan? how we are going to get there. No? Tracking and ensuring team knows the plan. And what is the benefit is that team stays in the right direction. That's the clarity of the plan. And then clarity of responsibility. Give team clear direction and autonomy to achieve goal. What's the benefit? Is that the team buy into the project plan. So clarity of purpose, clarity of plan, clarity of responsibility. From project management perspective, that is important for every project leader to achieve clarity so that it can be focused and the things move on. And anytime you assume that team members clearly understand the purpose, plan, and responsibility is a dangerous thing. No assumptions. Need to make sure that they understand, they are clear about the purpose, they are clear about the plan, and they're clear about the responsibilities. Extremely, extremely important to build the clarity for every project leader. Many project managers put this on paper, send that document through email, and assume that everybody is clear. And that creates problem later on. You all know about that part. So that's the first thing. And then the second part is inspiring and motivating. So as we know, leaders inspire and motivate the teams. So what happens what is the traits of motivating and inspiring is, first of all, setting the vision. Or if as a project leader, you are not setting the vision, then maybe the project sponsor has set up the vision to basically understand that vision and communicate that vision to the team. Practicing integrity. These all things, when you show, you will inspire and motivate. Set the vision, explain the vision, practice integrity. It's very simple. Practicing integrity is you do what you say, or you say what you're going to do. It has to be so simple. It has to be so simple. Displaying courage, not sitting quiet when it's supposed to be, not supposed to be quiet. Showing realism. What is realistically possible? Don't accept things that are not realistic. Have courage to speak out and take responsibility. If things do not go well, take responsibility. That will help instead of pointing fingers on others. Take responsibility. The great leaders take responsibility for everything. Everything. So take responsibility. Genuine care for others. Yeah. So yeah, right. This is right, Pete. Yeah. So those are the ways if you practice all of this, and if people see you doing this, that will be inspiring and motivating anyway. So you don't have to tell people, don't have to say people to inspire or motivate. You don't have to talk. You have to show. Okay. You have to show. You have to be practicing all of these. And I can tell you, if you do that, people see it. People see it. You don't have to tell them. You don't have to tell them when you take responsibility. You don't have to tell them when you display courage. They see it. They see it. And being able to motivate self first. If you are not yourself motivated, how you can motivate others? Okay, that's important. If you are down and you are looking sad, mad, or whatever, then how can you motivate? So being motivated first, and skillful persuasion of others to committing ideas and actions. So those are some of the traits. Let's see there is any more. Ability to energize people into increasing commitment. So energize people, talk positive, and show them the reality. That will help the energized people. Okay. And on each of the slide, you will see some references, and you can learn more about those aspects. This is a 1-day class, and sometimes it is 2-day class that I do for organizations where they can bring 20, 30 people go to this kind of a class. So it's a very interesting and very useful class. I have got very good feedback wherever I have delivered this class. Usually it's 1 day, but my preference is 2 days because then we get deeper into some of the things. But minimum is 1 day. I'm trying to squeeze that 1 day into 1 hour. And what are the tips? Create clear picture of the end goal to inspire, help teams see what they are creating, what they are creating every day, results of their work. So what they have accomplished, don't have to wait until the end, but as they complete, show the result, and pictures are a great thing to show that. And other important things, celebrate accomplishments, not progress. We are 50% complete on this milestone is not a reason to celebrate. Okay. But we have accomplished this milestone is a reason to celebrate. So don't celebrate work in progress. Never ever do that. But always celebrate accomplishments. So those was about inspiring and motivating. And then I may be able to cover this one, but then the rest I have to skip. Why is communication important? So communication part, 90% of project manager's job is communication, and also communication is more verbal than written. About 70% is non-verbal. So we know what is more than verbal and written. And we also know that effective communication helps build bridges. So how do you create effective communication? Mean presenting information, right manner, right time, right audience, right impact. And that's how you all create communication plan, right? All of us need to create the communication plan. And there are different skills that are used in effective communication. Listening is part of communication. Questioning and probing to clarify things, negotiating, and mastery of the body language. So your body language and words need to be in sync. So you cannot communicate an effective message if those are out of sync, because 70% more than that communication is not verbal. So we'll skip some of the slides. I may not have time to complete this, but you will get this set of slide deck. Philip will send you the slide deck, and you can look at the slide deck. And if there is a follow-up question we can talk about. So I quickly skip these slides because we are getting to the top of the hour in few minutes. So conclusion: understand what leadership is and what it is not. Develop emotional intelligence, develop situational leadership styles, and begin practicing specific skills. I think those are 4 steps to develop leadership skills. And you master these concepts, and I'm sure when you master these concepts, particularly as it goes for each one of them, I can't see one more important than the other, but you start from number 1 and go to number 4, and that's your path to developing leadership skills. Any questions? I will wait here for a couple of minutes. I have a couple of informational slides that I will keep moving through the slide, and you can read those slides, but I will open this for Q&A for next 2-3 minutes. Philip, you can open up microphones if people want to talk about this. Any question?
Okay, everyone's muted, or everyone's unmuted, sorry.
Very good.
Unless you're self-muted.
Okay, yeah, excellent. So any question, I'll be moving through the slides that you can read and get the answer as we discuss. So you can have your question or comments in the chat box, or you can use your microphone to ask questions. Okay, Pitch says great session. Thank you, Pitch. I'm glad you find it to be useful. Leadership begins at home. Actually, it's everywhere, Mustafa. If you are a leader, you are a leader everywhere. You are a leader at home, you are a leader at work, you are a leader in your community, you are a leader at the grocery shop, wherever. What is the hardest aspect, do you think? I think, to me, the most difficult is to develop high level of emotional intelligence. That, I feel, is very difficult. It needs practice, it needs awareness. It doesn't come to, I can tell you about myself. It took me years to get a better understanding of my getting aware about myself. It takes quite a bit of time and practice. And practice is not action. It's something is a mental practice. And the thoughts part, as I was telling you, thoughts come to your mind. How do you control that? You control that, but what you are exposed to. So there is everything going on in this world, right? Everything that you are bombarded with information. But then what kind of information you process and what you don't process. That is where you can create good thoughts. Yeah. So there are some people commenting about what the hardest thing is. I think the hardest thing about being a leader is to show how much of yourself you give to others. Overload. Okay. And continue sharpening your leadership by keeping fresh in your toolbook. Hardest. What is that one here? Sustainability is key to the success. And I somehow have a different opinion for both of these comments here from Pitch and Marcia. I think once you have mastered emotional intelligence and once you have mastered some of those skills, you just keep building over it. You don't have to do any other extra work. It is already sustained. The sustainability is not an issue. If you have developed those, it is not adding any other thing. It's actually making it more effective. And how much of you give to others is also not an issue. It's not a matter of time. I think you can very effectively help others maybe in just 5 minutes. So I somehow I have a difference in opinion with Pitch and Marcia's comments. But you may be right in your thinking and your experience, but my difference is my experience is little bit. Everybody comes looking for leader, not enough leaders. So you become one, right? Here is an opportunity. Here is an opportunity. Why you look for others? You become one. It's just a matter of making it your choice and working on it. And as you see in the slide, there is how do you claim one PDU? You will get the copy of these slides. I'll be here for another couple of minutes. Thanks everyone for attending the session. I hope it was useful to you. And join our another next session in the first week of June. We'll talk about the other aspect, and I may repeat this session maybe after 6-7 months or so. But if you want me to come and hold this session for your chapter or your organization, please let me know. And I can tell you, like, you got benefited in 50 minutes or so. I think if you do it for a whole day, you'll see it. Hey, Nathan, you are the winner, man. You were asking about that you're looking to see if you're going to be the winner or not. Are you still here, or you left? I don't know. I know you were there in the beginning, but Nathan, you are our winner for this month. So we'll send you a $10 Amazon gift card, and enjoy that gift card. Okay. So any other questions?